I've been using the Pocket 3 now for over a week, and here are 5 reasons why I think the Pocket 3 is better than your smartphone for creating content or just capturing memories in general. The first reason being the size difference. When I held the Pocket 3 for the first time, the main thing that stood out to me was the size compared to my iPhone. Whether I'm creating content or just capturing memorable moments, I like to record as discreet as possible, and I think this camera really embodies that. That's what it's really about. It's about half the size of an iPhone and feels a lot easier to hold, and that's mainly because of the cylinder-like design. And I find that when I attach the battery grip or the tripod mount to the Pocket 3, I could record for longer periods of time without feeling fatigued. So that's a plus. Now, a smartphone camera has very good size to value ratio compared to a DSLR or a mirrorless camera. But I think the Osmo Pocket 3 just takes it one step further by being in such a small form factor. This brings me to my next point, which is expandability. And in the past, when I've shot videos or longer videos on my iPhone, the two first issues I run into are storage and battery life. Now, phones have made a big leap in battery life over the years. They've gotten really good. On my iPhone, I'm able to only charge once a day, depending on my usage. But when you're recording on your phone, you're also using it for a lot of other tasks, such as checking your notes app. Maybe you're reading from a script or something like that, and that's what really takes a hit on the battery life. Compared to on the Osmo Pocket 3, I can swap out interchangeable batteries and get 1 hour of shooting from the in-camera battery and an additional hour of shooting from the external battery. In addition to that, you can buy multiple batteries for the Osmo Pocket 3 and swap them out just to get continuous shooting if you are in a time sensitive shooting situation, which on a smartphone you obviously cannot do. So the next part of expandability is storage. And as you know, smartphones nowadays, whatever storage you purchase with the phone, you get stuck with for the lifetime of the device. And even for an iPhone 15 Pro, for the higher tier storage, you're looking close to 1400 for like a 256, I believe, sorry. And, that kind of limits you if you don't have an external drive, or if you're shooting in a situation where it's time sensitive and you run out of storage, you can't just pop a new memory card in. And I think when it comes to having a content creation device, it's always good to be able to pop out a memory card just in case you lose the device due to damage or something of that sort. Overall, on the Pocket 3, I just like the idea that you could take the base camera and really ramp it up to what your shooting needs are. So if you need additional battery to shoot longer form, or you need storage that way, maybe a 256 is not enough, you could, swap it out for another 256. Versus on an iPhone, what you pay for is what you get for the life of the device. So we all know that smartphone cameras are very good for their size. So I'm actually not attacking the camera quality, but more so the usability of those cameras and the convenience when shooting. And that leads me to my next point, where the high quality cameras on smartphones are always rear facing. So if you want to use a cinematic mode or something, you would have to be shooting the subject away from you. And if you don't want to vlog with that cinematic mode, a lot of times you would end up being out of frame because you cannot see what you're actually shooting. So I think where the Osmo Pocket 3 takes the cake for myself and a lot of people who vlog or create content of themselves is always being able to see the screen, whether you're shooting the content away from you or you're shooting yourself. In addition to framing, also being able to see yourself, you could adjust the lighting of the shot. It just allows for a lot more convenience and adjustability when you're shooting, which I think is a huge, huge win for the Osmo Pocket 3 in this case. I mean, just here being at the park, I'm able to just set this down and move around as I see fit, because obviously I could see that I'm in the frame, I could see that lighting is good, versus if I was using a smartphone in this scenario. Now, with the new Active Track 6 on the Osmo Pocket 3, it's a lot less effort to ensure that your subject is still in the frame. Now, I know on an iPhone you could get an Osmo Mobile 3, the gimbal, and this same result could be achieved, but on the Osmo Pocket 3, I feel like it's just a lot more compact of a design with that built into the camera itself, and it just adds for that much more convenience when you're shooting all by yourself. And I think this allows for a lot more creativity when shooting on the Osmo Pocket 3 because you could just set the camera down and move around as you like to. And based on my testing over the last week or so, it does not skip a beat. Like if I try to move behind this pole here, it lost me, but once I come back into the frame, it picks up my face. Now I'm gonna throw up some examples of that recording on my iPhone 13 Pro 4K at night versus recording on the Osmo Pocket 3. And just right away you could see the difference in quality and stabilization in the two cameras. Is when you're spending upwards of $500, I think you need to have a camera that could shoot really high quality video in any environment.